Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Man is by nature a social being. Living in a society is his indispensable need. This is because he is made such that he is dependent for his needs on others. However, living in a society is also dangerous until and unless that society is protected from the misuse of his own God-given free will. In the history of mankind, politics and governments have arisen because of this need for man to live in a society and to protect it from disorder. In this session, we shall take a look at some of the political directives of Islam, which it gives in order to protect a society from the evil of man and to organize it in the form of a collective setup. The first of these directives is that in all affairs, in all collective affairs in which the Quran and Sunnah have given a directive, it is incumbent upon the members of the parliament and the rulers to take into consideration these directives. It cannot form any law, it cannot set up, it cannot regulate any law which is repugnant to the Quran and Sunnah. It must take into consideration the guidance which these two sources of Islam provide. However, while remaining subservient to these two sources, Muslims are bound by law to obey their rulers. The second directive which Islam gives in this regard is that the real responsibility of an Islamic state is to set up a system of merit on the basis of which everything should be decided, and to set up a system of justice in every walk of life, in every sphere of the society. The third directive in this regard given by the Quran is that a state has certain religious obligations. Besides some of the other obligations which are quite natural, there are some religious obligations which it is bound to follow and obey. And in this regard, these obligations are spelled out in a Quranic verse which says that when Muslims set up a government in any piece of land, then they are people who should set up a system of zakat. Similarly, they should set up a system of salat or namaz, and then they should enjoin what is good and forbid what is evil. To achieve these four objectives, some other stipulations are also spelled out in the Quran, and we shall also enumerate them. The first of these is that Muslims shall be bound to pray in order to affirm that they profess belief in Islam. Secondly, the Friday sermon and the Friday prayer shall be the prerogative of the state authorities only. Thirdly, zakat shall be liable to Muslims from their wealth, from their produce, and from their livestock. And in return, an Islamic government shall be bound to collect this zakat and to disperse it and to expend it on the needs on the collective needs of the Muslims. And finally, a Muslim government is bound to set up a department for the enjoining of good and for the forbidding of evil. This department shall also be invested with proper authority to use force if required in order to eliminate evil. The fourth directive given by the Quran to a political setup is that if Muslims pray and they also give zakat, then they shall have the same rights which Muslims have in an Islamic state. They shall be held equal in the eyes of the law. Among the positive requirements of Islam, nothing except the prayer and zakat shall be required of them, and their life, wealth, property, and freedom of expression can in no way be tampered with. In this regard, the fifth directive which is given is that an Islamic government shall come into being through a majority mandate. Only people or groups of people or parties who enjoy the confidence of the majority shall be allowed to form government, and they shall remain in power as long as they enjoy this confidence, and while remaining in power, they cannot in no way overrule a consensus or a majority of the Muslim parliament. These then are the five basic directives which the Quran gives the political setup which should be set up or which should be established in an Islamic state. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.